Hello and welcome to 3 Minute Gaming. I'm Nathan, and today I'm going to tell you if this game's worth their time and bandwidth.
Today's game is Like a Dragon Ishin, a spin-off where the Yakuza crew plays Shinsengumi during the Edo period. Is this remake of a PS3 game worth its weight in Nippon steel? Let's find out. Like a Dragon Ishin is, as mentioned, a remake of a PS3 game of the same name-ish that was Japan only and is a spin-off of the mainline Yakuza / Like a Dragon franchise, but set in 1860s Japan. You play as Sakamoto Ryoma, who was played basically by Kiryu from the main game, who returns to his hometown just in time to see his father get assassinated. Ryoma takes the fall for his father's death and exiles himself to Kyoto, nowadays Kyoto, to find his killer, who he thinks is part of the Shinsengumi. He joins their group to infiltrate, but soon becomes entwined in their political machinations, intergroup clashes, and so on, leading to a bunch of historically semi-accurate showdowns. The game is based on the real history of the Shinsengumi, though Ryoma is actually two characters combined in reality, with you and the Yakuza crew reenacting a lot of their greatest hits during that era. Beyond the story, this game is identical in structure to the other Like a Dragon titles. You're tossed into a large zone filled with side activities and sub-stories to engage in, such as Edo-era karaoke, dancing, chicken racing, and more. Combat is back to style swapping. You have bare-fisted, sword, gun, or sword with gun for the true samurai. Fighting with each style will level them up individually and grant orbs to unlock moves, and as you level up normally, you'll get great orbs you can put in any style tree. The big three side things here are Another Life, working for the Shinsengumi, and crafting. Another Life is a very light farming and cooking simulator that reminds me of the one in Nier Replicant. You can grow crops, cook meals, and send off shipments of goods for cash. The Shinsengumi is a combination of dungeon diver and card collecting. You'll earn cards that represent members of the troop that you can equip, and you can equip up to 4 on each style, which grant abilities on cooldown. You just level up as well as increase your max health, and you can take them into small linear dungeons or in the game in general. Lastly, crafting weapons is another important way to improve, with the smith leveling up as you use them, and you being able to make new gear varying quality and then attach modifiers to said gear. And honestly, that's Like a Dragon Ishin. The structure is very similar to the other Yakuza games of the era, but with some samurai flavor, an extensive crafting system, and a dash of historical irreverence. What do I like about Like a Dragon Ishin? Well, the multi-weapon style leads to some engaging combat, even if it's not even remotely balanced, with each style being completely unique, and learning and mastering each is fun. Additionally, the diversity of gear, particularly weapons, allows for some interesting builds, with you being able to swap gems in and out of different gear to try and build the ultimate set. And lastly, seeing the Yakuza boys basically cosplaying as Shinsengumi is a lot of fun. I personally enjoy this time period and the stories around this troop, and having it told with the Yakuza flair was a nice bit of fun fan service. When it comes to the bad, while I do enjoy the time period, I found the way the story was told here to be a bit drab. It didn't quite reach the dramatic heights you get from other Yakuza games, and the large number of characters and interactions to keep track of didn't really build up to something major like it does in the previous games, which meant no big payoffs. Additionally, this game's main upgrade system, crafting, is an absolute slog of a grind, with you having to farm boring repetitive dungeons to get materials and money you need, and leveling up the smith is insanely slow. It is tedium incarnate. And speaking of tedium, tons of the quests are just designed to waste your time. Most of the sub-stories are bland fetch quests rather than something interesting that you'd see in the rest of the series, and while there are a few highlights, I found the bulk of the sub-stories to be overwhelmingly dull. As you know, I rate games here on a 3-point scale: must play, maybe consider, and don't bother. Like a Dragon Ishin is a fun diversion from the Yakuza franchise, as it dips its toe into some historical revisionism, as well as has some fun period-appropriate twists. While I did feel the story struggled a bit to keep itself engaging, and the grind for weapons is clearly this game's worst point, if you can look past all that, it is still a fun, addicting Yakuza game under it all, and if you enjoy the franchise, you will enjoy this. That's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. Have you played Like a Dragon Ishin? Are you a fan of the series in general? What do you think about this particular entry? Please let me know in the comments, and then go out there and maybe give Like a Dragon Ishin a look.